and 4. Okay, I repeat the same. This is the Kocharam chart, the chart which is on the left side. So now from this week onwards, there is a little bit modification in that viewing the planetary motion. This is the left side chart is your Kocharam chart. This is, for example, I make it as the some person's chart. But here onwards, what you have to see every time, every day, you compare against your horoscope with the planetary motion, daily planetary motion. That means you are going to compare your Jadagam with the Kocharam. Okay. Now this is the Kocharam chart. This is the Kocharam chart, daily planetary motion. And this is the horoscope for somebody who's born on December 15, 2000 and some 1227. So how you have to compare? Let's see the now in the daily planetary motion, the Chandra is in the Rishabha along with the Guru. So in your birth chart also, Graha is Guru is also in the Rishabha along with the Sunny. So that means the Guru over the Guru. That you have to remember. When there was the same planet over your Janana Jatagam, remember that day and have full awareness of the entire day. Watch yourself, how the incidents was happening for you, how your emotions, how your mental and physical health will be. So this is the biggest comparisons you have to do. So make it as a habit. Try not to be force yourself. Let's becomes a natural habit for you. Let's take an example of the second Graha. In the Mithuna, there was a Rahu in the Janana Jatagam. In the Kocharam, there was no planet in the Mithuna. In the Kocharam, there was a Mangal. And in your Janana Jatagam, it was the Chandra in it. In the example Janana Jatagam, Chandra. So that means Mangal over the Chandra. That means this Mangal over the Chandra and Moon in your horoscope. You have to compare against them. Then move forward. Then every planet, you have to do all the planets, all 9 planets like that. Let's move into the another. Here in the Ketu in the Kanya, in the Janana Jatagam, there was no planet in it. It moves into the 8th one. So, sorry, Tula. In your Kocharam, there was no planet in it. But in your birth horoscope, the example birth horoscope, that was the Mangala. In the Vrikshaka, Surya Buddhan, interestingly, this is the combination Surya Buddhan and Surya Buddhan. So this is the wonderful day you have to do the experiment on yourself. When the same combination was coming on the Kosharam itself and in your birth chart also, do the experiment on yourself, how it was the planetary motion or the planetary behaviors affecting you, or you are not affecting at all. How is your emotion? How is your health? Make a full awareness of yourself. This is the best study. When the same planet over you, exactly over on your Janana Jatak. Then in your Danu, there is no planet in the Kocharam. In your in the horoscope, it was the Ketu in it. Let's move on. In the Makara, Shukra was there. And here again, the Shukra also in the daily planetary motion in the Kocharam also Chukran. In the Makara Rasi, in your in the Janana Jatagam also Makara Rasi Chukran. Let's move on. In the Kumbha, there was a Sunny on it. In your in the Janana Jatagam, there was no Graha in it. Ragu in the Meena, there was no Graha in the birth horoscope. So why we need to do this? So interestingly, if there was a 2-3 points you have to remember here, you no need to force yourself. One point is when there was the same planet was coming on the Kocharam as well as same as in your birth horoscope, have a keen look on it. Okay, have the full awareness of the entirety. This is the best point, and it will give you the tremendous experience. Second thing, on your when in your birth horoscopes there was a graha present in it, That moment in the Kocharam also, the Chandra is also on the Kocharam. Take note of that point. When the Chandra, imagine a person who's having the Lagna in the Meena Lagna. This person was Lagna, if we got, we considered he's having a Lagna. Okay, let's have a Rishabha Lagna. When in the daily Kocharam, the Chandra is on the Rishabha Rasi. In your Lagna is also Rishabha Rasi. This is the point you have to see and experiment yourself. When the Chandra was on your Lagna, how is your emotions? Okay, that's one point. When the Chandra was exactly, definitely in the Kocharam, the Chandra will move one Rasi to the another, right? So that point in time, which when the eighth house it was for this Rishabha Lagna, eighth house is the Dhanur, right? So when the Kocharam, the Dhanur Chandra was here, check yourself. How is your emotion? And exactly on the sixth house. So when this houses was happening, and also in your 12th house. When the Chandra is on the Kocharam, there are the three houses you have to take note in your Lagna, sixth house as well. And when the Chandra was transmitting one Rasi to the another in the 12th house itself. So if you are not interested to do this experiments, at least to do only on 2 days, that is the full moon and the new moon. When there was Amavasya and Paurnami, check that day only. Suppose this is too much complicated and I don't want to be interested in this, then check only 2 days, Amavasya and the Paurnami. That's more than enough to find about yourself more. But if you want to deep dive into your mind, this is the best option. And check yourself and tell me how it is going for you. Okay. Until this point, any confusion? Or I overcomplicated the thing? Very simple. Kocharam, and you are comparing against your birth horoscope. There is no complicated process here.
So direct Rashi to Rashi comparison, right? Mesha
Exactly.
to Mesha, Vrishabha, not the number of houses, because I got confused initially. So right hand chart is based on the Lagna of the person, but left hand is like
is your daily chart. This is the Kocharam chart. Okay. This chart you are not changing. We are not changing. It is already in the sky. This position is already in the sky. The Kocharam means the daily planetary motion. You are not going to change that. That itself. It's also having a Lagna. Remember, every daily planetary motion is also having the Lagna. You no need to consider that. What you have to consider in the Kocharam, you have to consider the Graha one. That Graha compare against your chart. So say we remember one thing, when you are comparing your first house, second house, third house to 12th house, there is no change in it. Your birth horoscope is the horoscope. You are compare against it. So okay, let's have a quick example.
Vanita, how do we get this daily Gocharam chart?
Okay, you Google in the Google for daily planetary motion. Then you will get it the search result as the first link itself, the Drik Panchang daily planetary motion itself comes. That's
so it
one
is
option.
readily available.
Yes. And else what you can do, there are every software, even the Jagannath Hora was having the, when you open the software itself, it will show the daily planetary motion one.
Okay.
Every day chart. That's the second option. Otherwise, you can, in the Drik Panchang app also, it will show you the daily planetary motion.
Okay. Very good.
Various options you can find.
Thank you.
Okay, then let's see. This option is okay, right? You are comparing against your birth horoscope. Initially, in the beginning, it looks like it's a complicated process. It's nothing. There is a daily planetary motion, and you are compare against your birth horoscope. So let's have only one example here. Consider this is the Lagna. This is the first house for this person. Second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house. So till it goes like this, 12th house, right? For the first house, in the Kocharam, Chandra and the Guru. That means Chandra and the Guru over your first house. Second house, there was no Graha. Third, yeah. But he was saying something. If not, I mute. Okay. So in your third house, the same goes for the Kadaga, right? In Mangal was in it. That means the Mangal is over your third house. In the third house, you have the Chandra in it. So that means Mangal over Chandra. The same goes for all 12 houses. Is that clear? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, like getting into the Panja. Paurnami up to 231 and followed by the Pratipada. And next page starts. Yoga is a Shubha followed by the Shukla. Nakshatra Mrigasirsa, Artra. Karana is Bhava, Palava, Kauluva. Okay, the weekday is the Ravivara, Paksha is the Shukla Paksha. Okay, then let's getting into the staying point of our class. Let's take 2 minutes to stare at this point, to stare at this slide. Make it very big. Yeah, your time starts now. We have 2 minutes. Okay, then. Okay. Okay, this is the this for this slide. This is the last week. From next week onwards, we are going to see the step-by-step process of how we are going to see the horoscope. So that will be quite different from this. I hope you guys stayed as much as you can so that you can easily understand which bhava and what is the significance of that bhava. Yes or no? But do you still need a revision or is this enough?
So you mean to say from next session it will be Navamsha Kundali we will be studying?
No. Now also it will take time. We still have to see how the birth chart works. There is a lot more to learn in the birth chart itself.
So it is Rashi Kundali, Janma
Yeah.
Rashi Kundali.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to
we
go
need
to
a little more revision.
Okay, then we will go for the 2 more weeks then.
Okay. Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, this is about the random division. So when you see the horoscope, there are the few points you have to remember whenever you see the horoscope. The first house, second house, third house. This is based on the Kalapurcha. So first Rashi is the Mesha Rashi, second Rashi is the Rishubha, third Midhuna, fourth Kadaka, fifth Simha, sixth Kanya, seventh Tula, eighth Vrikshika, ninth Dhanush, 10th Makara, 11th Kumbha, 12th Meena. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. We are making it as the 1 to 12 numbers. So when you see the odd numbers, it is the male Rasi. When you see the even numbers, it becomes the female Rasi. Okay, from this slide, you have to understand one more thing also. In your horoscope, they write as the Lagna Pulli. In Tamil, we call it as a Lagna Pulli. In Lagna point, you see in a horoscope, what is your Lagna point? You are considered a situation where you have Kanni Lagna. When the Lagna was happening in the sky, right, it has to be some kind of anchor point, right? That point becomes your Lagna Puli, and this will determine the child is born as the male or the female. That is a different calculation altogether, how they will do, because this is the 30 degree, right? 30 degree, 1.25 degrees, they divided into the entire 30 degrees, 125, 1.25, 1.25, and the entire 30 degree. So they find out based on which Rashi you are in, then they alternate with the degree, male, female, then they find out the male or the female. But you don't want to go into that extent to complicate the process. Simply ask them, are you male or the female? That's more than enough. Why? Because in the there are so many things you have to discover that takes a lots and time of you. This consumes you. When you see the horoscope, it seriously consumes you. So this is an opportunity to show your knowledge also, but it doesn't matter. You just ask them, are you male or the female? Your job ends there. But what I'm trying to say here was, there is then way also to find out when you have the Jatakam in your hand and you find out the Lagna Pulli, that Lagna Pulli defines this Jataka is the male or the female. Okay, that
So,
much.
Vanita, every house, when we divide it 1.5 degree each, right? 30 parts. Then it always starts with male, or let's say.
That's a good question. See, here the female was coming. This is the female Rashi, right? Then the female is the first. Female, male, female, male, okay. Female, male, female, male. When it comes into the male Rashi, it comes in alternate like this: male, female, male, female, male, female.
Got it. Yeah.
But this is all the tricks to find out in astrology. But I strongly advise try not to be into this kind of thing, because so many things you have to learn. You just ask them whether you are a male or female, your job was done. But if you're so much curious, this is the way you have to find out the horoscope is the male or female. But the Lagna Pulli is very much important. We will tell you that later, but this is one of the usage. Okay. Let's move into one more revision about the Mercury. From this week onwards itself, we have to see all the things around us, which graha for this object, or which graha in front of me or beside me. You have to find out, you have to see everything as a graha. See, for example, Mercury, all your books, especially when the books are in a vertical position, the Mercury energy is really high. That's why when you see in the library, when you enter into the library itself, you are a person like I don't like to read the books, and I don't like to read the books, such a kind of the mindset you have. But when you enter into the library, at least you have the slight amount of a mind change will come. I just want to turn the page for one books or two books. How that was happening in you? Because when the books was arranged vertically and the Mercury energy was high, it penetrate into your mindset and creates that kind of the small change, small thought process. So that's why all the books are the Mercury's energy. That's why the people will say, place the books vertically. But if you want to do the experiment also, place the book in the horizontal and see, you have a tendency to read that book or not. Go and see. This was a wonderful experiment. In your study table or wherever you place your books, place the books vertically and see how many hours you are reading. Place the books horizontal and how many hours you are reading. There is totally a different energy level will work. And all your photographs and any kind of the wall arts. But Mercury was an intelligent planet. All kind of the intelligence. It's whenever whatever it is relevant with your studies. For paper, books, pen, pencil, and the bookshelf also, Mercury is significant. Mobile, when you try to communicate with others, the mobile is a prominent one, right? That's also Mercury. When you're doing exercise, the leaves means particularly all the greens comes into the Mercury, especially when the tree which is not able to bear fruits, that's a Mercury energy is high. The Dulasi planet is also Mercury energy is really topmost, and that was a super medical planet. And all kinds of the greens. Whenever you go for and eat for a greens, any kind of the greens comes under the Mercury, and all related with the education things comes under Mercury. Chariot. When you see the chariot means when you see in the temple. In the earlier days, the people used to transport from one place to another, very old number of centuries back. But nowadays, the transport items was entirely different. But still in the temple, there is the festival will go along with the chariot. The chariot is the Mercury energy. In the temple, when you see the Gopuram, that is also the Mercury's energy. In the temples also, the Mercury's energy will be there. And if you see the triangle shape, the peoples will use it for whenever they do the puja, before initiate the devata or any of the prominent god and goddesses into that space, they put some kind of the drawing. They call it as the yantra drawing. Particularly when it was when you want to call the Mercury energy, the peoples will draw the triangle. The triangle is a means for the Mercury to invite the Mercury into that space. So the Mercury peoples are so much humorous. Okay, there is one thing to remember here. Mercury have two houses, right? One is the Mithuna and another is the which one is another one? Mercury have Kanya Rasi, right? So what is the difference between these two? Mithuna is very humorous in nature. It won't like if you do this, I want to do like not that kind of the mindset. But Mithuna was like very humorous person, and it won't hold the grudge. But when it comes into the when comes into the Kanya Rasi, this Mercury is entirely different. It thinks about all the business related stuff. It minds itself, the inbuilt memory itself, it works as the business only. If I do this action, what I will get. If I'm not going to do it, what I'm not going to get? What is the profit and loss? It's exactly the business mind will goes in the Kanya Rasi. But they will hold the grudge for a very long time. They won't forgive easily. But the Mithuna Rasi people, they forgive very easily. That's the difference between these two. It comes into the Mercury segment. All kind of figure dance, speech, and music, and okay, anything related with the business comes into the Mercury. Playground, because the Mercury is the young prince, the kid, kind of a kid going to become adult. But this is the point. Consider he's a teenage guy. Okay, when you see the faces of the people, Mercury is the teenage. Playground, university, college. When it comes into the grains, green gram is the best tool. So if you want to increase your Mercury energy, and if you want to invite the Mercury energy, green gram is the best and best option. So Amla is the another prominent one. Anything related with it?
You were telling about nature of Gemini and Kanya, right? Maybe that's because of the element influences the planet.
Exactly. That matters a lot. exact.
Okay.
And yeah. And comes into the anything related with the education, schools, university, all comes under the Mercury energy. Exactly when you see the number of the subject, Max is the best one. If you see the people, they said, if they are good in the Max, definitely the Mercury is in a good position. If the Mercury was not in a good position, you're not able to do even a sum of two numbers. If the people says, I love Max or I'm good at Max, definitely go and see their horoscope. The Mercury will definitely in a good place. And the astrology comes under the Mercury. In the grains, fenugreek also. But when it comes into the Mercury, when you wear the new dress, the Mercury energy also enter into your art. There are the many things.
How to know Mercury is good position or bad position?
Okay, good question. Okay, first thing, how you can easily identify. When I say this is the good position or bad position, how you can easily identify. There are the various ways, right? First thing, go and see in your Shadbala. That tell you whether the Mercury was in the good position or not. So once you understand, okay, the Mercury was in a good position, or Mercury was not in a good position. So now you see, no, I'm not going in to see the Sadbala, but I want to see in the horoscope itself. Whenever I see it in my horoscope, I want to understand my Mercury was in a good position or not. Okay. If the Mercury was alone, whether it was in the enemy's house or friend's house, neutral house, doesn't matter. Mercury will be good. But when the Mercury was associated with any of the inauspicious graha, what are the inauspicious graha?
Rahu, Ketu.
Rahu, Ketu, Sunny, then
Shani, Mangala.
Mangala, then
Shani, Rahu, Ketu, Mangala.
Moon also, when it's
Moon also, Sun also. Sun is
Sun.
not the auspicious planet, because the Sun was giving a strict energy to you. It was the energy will be really, really hard. It makes you to do what the Sun wants. Okay, when it was combined with the inauspicious planet, then the Mercury behaves like that. But imagine a situation when the Mercury was combined with the Moon in a growing phase of the Moon, or with the Chukra or the Guru. The Mercury was very, very obedient kid. Okay, then consider it, because the Mercury combined with the Moon, you have to watch it very carefully, because Mercury considered Moon as an enemy. Mercury won't consider the Sun as an enemy, but Mercury considered Moon as the biggest enemy. That's why whenever you see the combination of the Moon and Mercury, see how it was in the growing phase of the Moon or the waning or waxing phase of the Moon. So that's why you have to understand the Mercury is in auspicious energy is high or no. So suppose in case if you are still not yet not compromised with the understanding, go and see Shadbala. Shadbala will tell you exactly what is happening. It's a calculation of the 6 prominent components, not a one single component. It's 6 components combined together to give you one single digit. So you can believe that. Else, this is the best option. This much clear? No?
Yes, Savanita.
Okay. What are the dangerous combination of the Mercury? It's not a dangerous combination, but okay, Mercury also comes into the love. When the Mercury and the Mangal was combined together, due to the various reasons, we'll see about the Mercury, love about the Mercury in the next week. That time I will tell you what are the combinations. But when the Mercury and the Mangal combined together, these people have a higher chance of eloping together to get married, or they fall into the love of fire. This kind of the things they come into the life. They may get the early marriage. This kind of things may happen in their life. When combined with the Rahu and Ketu, this is a different story altogether. We'll see that when the combination of the grahas, what will happen. Okay. Let's move into the today's class. Okay, let's quickly understand about the Mercury. Okay, as we know, Mithuna and the Kanya is the own house. Let me see, where is the enemy house is only the Karka. It is the moon house is an enemy. Every other house is the neutral. Rishabha, which is the Venus, is the friend house. So every other house is considered as the neutral to it. Mula Trikona is also Kanya, 15 degree to 20 degree. Gender is the male or the female, depends upon. But some people will say it depends upon energy which is combined with other grahas around. But why they consider it is not male, not female? Because it was a young prince. It's not entered into an adult stage. That's why they consider not male, not female. The energy was really, really mild. Aspect only one aspect, it's 7 direction north, directional strength east, malefic depend graha, which is associated with the Devata Vishnu, Pratyadi Devata Narayana. Elements Prithvi, Dosha, all three doshas combined. Maturity age 32 years after. Dhatu, the skin, grains, green gram. Maranakaraka is the 4th house is the Maranakaraka, combustion. When it is moving forward, 0 degree to 14 degree, it retrograde 0 to 12 degree. But most of the astrologers will say when the Mercury and the Sun, which is in the difference between the 5 degree, they consider it as the fully combusted. But this is about the theory books. 0 degree to 14 degree in the forward motion, in the retrograde motion, 0 to 12 degree. But based on your experience, based on when you see the number of the Jataka, you will understand the 0 to 5 degree is the, you can consider is then highly combusted. Okay, the debilitation point is 15 degree, which is in the Meena Rashi. Exaltation is the Kanya, which is in the 15 degree. So this is the debility. Exaltation point is an air. The debilitation point is the water element. Move on. Mercury relationship. Mercury friends with the Sun and the Venus. Neutral with Mars, Jupiter, and the Saturn. And the enemies is the only enemy is the Moon. The nakshatra Aslesha 9, 18 Jyeshta, 27 Revati. Buddha Dasha period is 17 years. Okay, for this Mercury, there was no Yoga Karaka because the Lagna is the Mithuna Lagna, Kanya Lagna. For the Mithuna and the Kanya, there was no Yoga Karaka. Bhatakasthana, 7th house Dhanush. For the Mithuna, Kanya, it was 7th house. Mithuna, it was 7th house Dhanush. Kanya, it was 7th house meaning. Both are Guru obstacle is the Guru is the obstacle of the planet. So whenever you see the that's why when the people are seeing the Mithuna Lagna and the Kanya Lagna, they considered the Guru as the obstacle only for this reason. They considered the Bhatakasthana for this one, but depends. In either of them, the Guru becomes an obstacle. So you have to see you have to see the horoscope completely to find out whether the Guru is a complete obstacle for the Jataka. Okay. We learn about the 3 houses in the last week. Mercury in the first house, the Digbala, this was the really good one. These people's, whatever the malefic effects, whichever the other planet was given, it will be nullified for this one. These people are really expert in every whichever they touch. They are real experts in that. One more important quality, one interesting quality of the Mercury is the independent one. We can see about the independent thought, independent process, independent quality, but Mercury is one of the planet which acquire and exhibit that nature very well. If you see the person, the person Mercury was really good, and you can see that person, they independently work. They don't need anybody's help. If they always dependent on another person, check the person's horoscope, especially on the Mercury. Because the Mercury will give you the independent strength. The independent will comes only when the Mercury is strong. Okay. The Mercury in the 2nd house, this is about your represents your liquid as speech, family, food, nourishment, everything. These people are really a self-made person. They're very well learned and they know how to speak to others. particularly they love the computers and enjoy all kind of the luxuries. It comes into a third house. Third house is your aim, especially is your courage, all kind of the art and passion, communication, and in this modern world, all kind of the communication. So when combined with the Mercury, these people are wonderful author. There is a high chance they become a successful business person. Okay, now let's end getting into the class. Mercury in the fourth house. Anybody remember what is the fourth house? Fourth bhava represent?
Mother.
Again, mother.
Nurturing
Property.
nature.
What is it?
Nurturing nature.
Nurturing. Okay, then. Okay, suppose if you want to buy a land, which house you want to see? You say Lagna. Additionally,
The fourth
Fourth
house is for
fourth.
property.
Yeah, land, property, your assets. Fourth house. Your happiness. Mother. Anybody was saying something?
I was saying vehicle also.
Vehicle. Yeah.
False allegations. Produce false.
False allegations. Yes. Okay. This all comes in the fourth house. Now we'll see the Mercury. The Mercury energy is the mild prince energy. It's a kind of the kid's energy. It's an intelligent energy. Based on this kind of the mild intelligent energy, we have to combine it with the fourth house. Okay, here we are going with the good situation. Like we have an assumption like the Mercury was alone, not combined with any of the malefic planets. So we are going with that kind of the good assumption. Let's see about it. These peoples are in, as I already said, these peoples are individualistic, means highly individual. They don't like to depend on anybody. From the last cell itself, it say to them, they want to be independent. That kind of the person, the Mercury in the fourth house. And when they want to enter into the business, they want to entrepreneurship, anything, they are the best person. Because why? Mercury is another business is one of the best significant is the business is the best significance of the Mercury. Whenever they enter into, they create anything, they try to trade with any trade with others or to create the entrepreneurship. These people are the very good. And definitely they are very good in maths. And if how good in maths, you have to see them how even though they are not interested, they will do the maths. They will say, I'm not interested in maths, but I'm good in maths. If you see that any of this, if you any people around you say this kind of stuff, definitely go and check them. The fourth house Mercury will be sit in their horoscope. Because when the peoples are good in maths and they will say, I don't like maths, but I'm good with the maths. Go and check their horoscope. Definitely the Mercury in the fourth. Yeah, analytical skill is a really, really good one. And this is very much okay. When the fourth house Mercury was there, they are really self-made. What does that mean? They go to the bottom pit, they touch the bottom pit, they come up as how they are initially started, then they prove themselves again and again to fight against the world. These peoples are the really self-made peoples when the fourth house Mercury was. Okay, the poetical skills and the love for music. Okay, this is the one point you have to remember. This is the raw quality of the Mercury. When the Mercury was in the fourth house alone, this quality will be definitely for the Jatak. Okay, here is the checkpoint. Here is the twist also. If it is associated, if it is combined with any other graha, the aspect of the any other graha, then this raw skill may not, the Jataka may not have. But there was a traces in them, but they have to develop. But if the Mercury was alone, they no need to develop. It was inbuilt in them. When they touch the pen, the poems will come on its own. It is a own skill. And they love the music. Okay. magisterial profession, and these peoples will become the golden girls. And this is again, this all the raw qualities of the Mercury. So Mercury have to be in a good place. When I say Mercury have to be in a good place, it have to the auspiciousness will be definitely in a top notch. Otherwise, these two qualities will definitely not come into the Jataka's life. Anybody having the Mercury in the fourth house? No? Okay, I will tell you mine. I have the Mercury in the fourth house, but there is a twist here. Highly individualistic is 100%. Business acumen, it's a no for me. I will tell you why also. Good in maths? Yes, absolutely. But I don't like maths. I don't know I like maths or not, but I'm really good in maths. Poetic skills, I really have, it's a 0%. I don't have anything. My words are going to golden words. This is also, I'm not sure. But why that was happening? Why this quality was not in me? Because my Mercury was in the Saturn's house. When the Saturn house, the Mercury was in it, the entrepreneurship may not inside me. It was like the search for oneself was entirely different. But this is not exactly much for anybody having Mercury in the fourth house. Mohan?
Vinita, please mute everyone because there's some voice coming.
Okay, the voice is from, I guess this is from my outside only.
Okay.
This is out of my control. Anybody having the fourth house Mercury? Okay, this is the raw quality. Okay, when the Mercury was in the fourth house, when the auspiciousness was high, this 6 point, if you remember, that's it. You were really cracked the Mercury in fourth house. But what are the things you have to be tweak here and there? When the Mercury was combined with the any graha, then some of the qualities may not come. Where the Mercury was placed, where the Mercury was make the congestion or make the connection, or where the aspect was happening. So based on that, you have to modify this point and you have to add some other points. Okay, remember that. Any questions so far? Yes, no? No? Okay, I'm moving on into the fifth house. Okay. Mercury in the fifth house. Fifth house is mainly for your intellect, your love affairs, your children, all kind of the amusement, speculation, any kind of the childlike activities, which is comes into the fifth house. Why childlike activities? Fifth house is for the children. Fifth house, any kind of the childlike activities comes under the fifth house. Your love, romance, also fifth house. Okay, interestingly, Mercury is also a love planet. So when you want to see the horoscope, the love affair is going to work or not, what are the things you have to check? You have to check the Mercury, fifth house. Fifth house, Adhipati, the owner of the fifth house, the grahas present in the fifth house, the aspect of the fifth house. So when you see these four combination, along with the Mercury, you will find out the answer for your the love related questions. Okay, let's come back to here. Your ancestors' blessings or your Kuladevam, if you want to find out your family god, I don't know how to say in English the Kuladevam. Every family they have their own god and goddesses, right? Or they consider it as their they
Yes,
follow it as a
family deity.
family deity. Yeah, every family have that, right? Otherwise, they all number of the families do together as a community. They worship one of the family deity. So that is also represented in the fifth house. Okay, yeah, that is represented in the fifth house. Okay, now this is the thing in the fifth house. Now, when you see the Mercury, the intelligent, soft, and the meticulous energy of the Mercury with the business knowledge, humorous in nature, when combined together, how the fifth house going to work. Okay, so this is also we are going with an assumption like Mercury wasn't alone. But when the Mercury was combined, the story will be entirely different. Okay, now see Mercury in the fifth house. These people are able to think very quickly. Very quickly means very, very quickly. When you see these people have a sense of humor, you will immediately understand the Mercury plays the biggest role in them. If you see the number of the peoples, imagine 10 peoples in there, and one of the people's sense of humor was top notch, means the Mercury definitely was in the fifth house. Okay, then one more thing. When the here is the situation, let's we'll deep dive into the only one line. Then you can do the same thing for the every other point here. So imagine a situation, the fifth house was in the sunny's, the fifth house was in the sunny, either in the Makara and the Kumbha. Mercury was placed in it, that becomes the Jataka's fifth house. So these people able to think quickly? Yes or no, tell me. They will give that one.
I think no.
Why?
Because Shani.
Can you just
Shani-
repeat the question, Vanita?
Give me a second. I have the Mercury here. This is an assumption. Mercury was alone. And this is the Lagna, Kula Lagna. Okay, now the Mercury was in the Sunny's house, Saturn's house, which is in the Kumbha Rasi. Mercury was placed alone. Now, able to think quickly, they can able to think. But understand this one point, quickly is possible or not? That's the question.
Saturn will pull it down. Saturn is slow, right?
Yes, Saturn's because it was in the Saturn's energy, it pulls down very quickly. And there was a twist again here will come. When the twist will come, imagine a situation. The Guru was here. When the Guru was aspecting the Mercury, here, the quickly becomes the wisdom. They able to think with wisdom. Then the quick quality, the raw quality of the Mercury becomes the wisdom. So this is the twist you have to understand. When there was the same Mercury was placed, the same auspiciousness was there, but the owner was different, the aspect was different, the quality becomes changed. This is understandable, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, okay, this is the raw quality again for the Mercury. They have the good sense of humor, especially when the people who are born on the Mithuna Lagna, their sense of humor is really high comparatively with the Kanni Lagna people. They are also having a sense of humor, but the background mind will always like think like a business related stuff. Okay. But the Mithuna Lagna people like they are in a full speed of the sense of humor. Okay. When the Mercury in the fifth house, they love the family loving person. They want to be with the family all the time. Now the sports creatives, okay, here is an interesting thing. Okay, again, okay, here is a test. Okay, now see the same thing again. Mercury was in the Saturn's house. And again, it was the fifth house Mercury. This person is the family loving person. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
It should not be affected by Saturn in this case.
Why?
Saturn doesn't have adverse effects. Just, I mean, with respect to speed, yes, slow, fast, but otherwise it is.
It doesn't affect the relationship, right?
Possibly. Okay. when you see about the slow and speed, right? What is it exactly? That is an action. Exactly what is happening. See, this is the speed and this is the slow process. But it's all an action. But anytime, whenever you see, particularly in a horoscope, don't see it with an action. See what the underlying emotion. When the people was doing the thing very slow, when the action was really slow, what will be the emotion for them?
They can be misunderstood.
They are thinking too much. They want to be perfectionist. They want to do the work very decorative or some other thing. So the slowness become the slow is an action, but the underlying emotion will be different, right? Same goes for the speed. The speed was it was like a Mars energy. The Mars like gives an energy to give the speed, accelerate that. But what will be the emotion? Whenever you see the action is the facade. But you have to go inside and see what is the emotion. Here, the family loving person means this is the person, it shows the emotion here. But still, considered a situation when the Mercury was placed here, definitely when this becomes the fifth house, a own house, and even the Saturn was the friend of the Mercury. So it won't give that verse effect. But the slightest detachment of the Saturn's energy will definitely reside in them. It won't go full-fledged of the family loving person. The detachment, definitely, if you see you go and see the person particularly, they definitely family loving person. There is no exception. But when you see their emotion, there is some touch of the detachment will be there. But we have to make the honest conversation with them to find out a real answer. Until then, you may not able to find out that. But whenever there was in Saturn's house, this is the point you have to be seen and go deep dive in it, understand yourself. Don't nitpick that person. But if you want to learn more about it, say to them directly. See, this is the point I'm analyzing your horoscope. This is all the point where I have the checkpoint, which I have to check with you if this is correct or not. If they say yes or no, go with it. Don't argue with them. Okay? This is my point of view, totally. But if you find when the Mercury was in the Saturn's house, there is no detachment. That person was having a family attachment heavily, then go with it. Okay, but this was my understanding. Okay. Okay, let's get into the when the Mercury was in the fourth house. Fifth house is also represents your sports, creative and social and cultural activity. They are involved very actively. Okay, this is very important point. Interestingly, they achieve their goal very early in their life. You see the person when the particularly Saturn dominated person, they achieve their success in the later in their age, possibly after 40. They definitely achieve the success in their life. But when the Mercury energy was really prominent in the particular Jataka, they achieved the success in the early age itself. You see the people who earn money in their teenage itself. The Mercury energy is really high. I saw the persons who worked in 13 years of the age, and she tastes the money in the teenage itself. So the entire teenage, she was into earning the money, doing her own business. So that means their Mercury energy was really good. The woman will play a major role in life if the native is the male. If the Mercury is in the fifth house, the woman can be anybody, your mentors, your mother, your sister, your lover, whoever it is. They will play the prominent role in your life if it is for me. Okay? Anybody having the Mercury in the fifth house?
Yes, Vinita, it's Nina here. I have Mercury in my fifth house. It's in Kanya.
Okay, let's have. Okay.
I
Yeah,
also
and
have
you have
Mercury. I also have Mercury in the fifth in Kataka.
Wow, let's see one by one. Let's finish with Nina first. Okay, let's
And
Kanya and
Sun,
Kanya, Mercury and
Sun.
Sun. Okay, which one is matching? Which one is not?
Mm,
Okay, wait a second. Let me
maybe
see
matching.
everything.
For me, like money is not important. It's first family. And I
Okay.
give it top priority. I'm very emotional, of course, because Moon is in my Lagna. I'm too emotional and I go overboard. But anyway,
Okay,
sense
let's
of
go
humor
one by one.
is okay, it's average.
Let's go one by one. Able to think quickly?
Yes, I think so.
Awesome. Sense of humor?
Good, but not very. I
Hmm.
would say it's good.
Half
Family
it.
life, definitely.
Okay. About this one?
Very creative.
Awesome.
Yes, I achieved my goal in the sense I was working quite young. When I was young, my boss used to always tell me, you've got your position too early. Like maybe I was not too mature for my job or whatever, but he used to, that was one of the things.
Hmm. Okay. Any women's playing a prominent? This is for the male. Probably this is not a correct question for you. Okay. Any graha aspecting the fifth house? No, Griham? Any house, any Rashi graha aspecting the fifth house? Okay. See, whatever that thought process which I said earlier, Meena was negating exactly. So even the Mercury was in a Saturn house, she's a family loving person. Still we have anytime you feel like detachment, like in the family side, or in your or in your creativity.
Vinita, you said something to me. I can't hear you. Sorry.
Yeah. See, whatever the thought process which I said, the detachment will come when the Mercury was in the Saturn's house, right? So you said, no, I love my family very much. So here the negation we already got. Okay, at
No, but
any point,
Mercury is in its own house in Virgo.
who's in its own house?
Mercury is in Kanya.
Okay, which is your Lagna?
My Lagna is Taurus and Mercury is in Kanya. Sorry, I didn't see your chart. I was just looking at.
Okay, that says a lot. Okay, definitely. That's why I really got confused. How come you able to think quickly?
Okay.
Now I can really understand why. Because now the Mercury was in the own house in Mula Tripona and everything was good. Definitely will able to think quickly. And yes, for everyone. Okay, this is the good. Okay, one more thing. When the sun was combined together, when the Mercury was attached with the malefic planet, that planet energy is also attached with the Mercury. So any point in time you have an ability to authoritative or dominating, any kind of the characters will come out, even though you are a very loving person and you have the good sense of humor, it will come out from you or no?
Yes, it does. It does. You're very right, Vinita.
Because the sun will make it. Because the sun, when the sun and Mercury or any of the malefic planets attached with it, that energy will be combined together with the Mercury. Okay, this is the wonderful one. Okay, one more question was then. There was okay.
Mine is Meena Lagna.
Thank you, Vinita.
Okay, then Mercury was in the Kadaka. Okay.
With Sun, with Ravi.
Wow. Okay, which one is working for you? Which one is not?
The one everything works except the early success. except
this
that.
one is not. Except that makes sense. Why? Where is your moon?
Moon is in Tula.
Is in Tula. Your Guru?
Guru is in Vrushabha. Oh, sorry, no, Mesha.
Mm, how come? The money flow will be really good for you. But you didn't have success in your yearly life. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, the woman will play a major role in your life. Is that true or not?
I really cannot say, but early in my life, maybe, yeah. But,
Okay, this is the thing. When the Mercury was combined with the any other graha, this may or may not come. The entire thing that becomes a question mark. The people will say, no, I'm not a good thinker and I don't have a good sense of humor. And you have to see which graha was combined with it. Then that nullifies that quality of the Mercury, because this is a raw quality of the Mercury. It thinks quickly because it was very intelligent. Sense of humor is an inbuilt nature of the Mercury. When you sit next to the person, you can easily understand this person is the Mercury person or not. But there was also one more thing. When they had the sense of humor, when they're doing the meditation, it's really quite tough. Because the playful energy inside them, they didn't allow them to sit properly. They don't want to do the meditation. But their sense of humor is really, really good. Okay. Let's move on. Anybody want to discuss anything in the Mercury fifth house? No? Okay. We'll quickly finish with the sixth house. It's already late. Okay, we'll start with the sixth house from next week. Any questions till now? No?
Thank you, Vinita. Your class is wonderful. We're learning a lot.
Really, that's awesome.
More extra than the books, so it helps a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Vanita. Excellent classes always.
Thank you so much.
actually, I'm seeing Mercury right in front of me.
Actually,
We all envy you.
Yeah,
We all envy you.
he gets to see several planets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw all 7 visible planets. Yeah.
I will tell you which my planet is. I will tell you, you will really wonder.
Vanita, can you tell for our interest and also Mr. The one who is watching the stars and planets all the time, will you have any additional benefits by watching them all the time?
You get connected to the planets. You get
very much.
connected visually. You have that energy drawing right away.
Yeah.
Wow, lovely.
When you say the word again and again, even if you see the Navagraha Sostram also, if you chant in the morning or before you sleep itself, you really invoke that energy. But it won't be happening in one day. But if you, in order to feel that energy, at least you have to go for 48 days continuously practice, because your body have to be aligned with it. When you utter the name, that energy will come into you. There is a one point will come when you see the sun's energy will jump into your body. That kind of the practice will come when you do it again and again. See, if you are a Reiki practitioner, there is the when you invoke your energy, you will you will invoke with the light rays, right? When you see the pranic healers also, they will invoke the energy in the colors level, right? The colors is nothing but the representation of the grahas only. But when you see the moon, the energy will comes into immediately. The full moon's energy, not in any other day's energy of the moon. And the full moon's energy, when you imagine the moon, when you see the word moon, the moon's energy will have to come into you. But that how come it comes? And you see the name of the grahas planets in front of you, or you use chanted the Navagraha Sostram. And there are the various ways. And you see again and again, that will comes in.
Yeah,
Okay, that's why I asked.
moon was also visible. Yeah, it's still visible on the other side. I'm looking east, but moon is in the west right now. It's a full moon, and Jupiter.
Where
Jupiter
are you
probably
staying right
just went
now?
down.
No,
I'm in the
now I'm
Caribbean.
in-
I'm in an island in Caribbean.
But he was, voice was in not hearing to us. Okay, that's why you have to see again and again. That's why I ask you to see at least the planetary motion once in a day. That's more than enough, because you may forget everything at least once in a day. When you use the app any point in time, just observe planet motion. Then when the days goes on, when you practice for a very, very long time, the moment you think, that will come. When you see the horoscope, the studying is not only, this is the kind of the vidya, not only your books knowledge won't be sufficient. You have to do the chanting, you have to do the meditation. Is that for seeing the horoscope? No. Your studies, your books knowledge will help you to read the horoscope. But in order to protect you, your meditation, your chanting, your prayers will help. Okay?
Awesome.
Yeah, see you all next week then.
Thank you, Anita. Once again, wonderful class. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you.
Anita.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all.
Bye.